Hello YouTube and welcome to another video. I have some fantastic news, and that is that I got my cylinders back from the machine shop and they're ready to install. Before that happens though, I need to recheck my Squish because I've done a few things that will have affected it. Most noteworthy would be recutting the angle in my last video, and in the video before that I removed the head gasket, cut an O-ring groove, and I'm now using copper as my head gasket. Those two things will have significantly changed the Squish band. Also, I don't think I've mentioned this, but I'm now running a SBT base gasket, which is 18 thousandths thick, compared to my old base gasket, which was 29 thousandths thick. Obviously, we can't know what the Squish is without checking it, and we don't want to ruin our new Wiseco pistons, so yeah. I'm hoping that the Squish is going to be somewhere around 35. Because it's tapered, I could actually go a little bit less than that, so anywhere from between 30 and 50, I'll just leave it alone. I'm not exactly sure how much I removed from the Squish band, so that is the big unknown here. Instead of guessing and speculating, I'm going to pop the engine together, tighten the head on, take a Squish measurement. I'm going to go about it in a little bit different way this time because I want to be really accurate. So yeah, stick with me and I will show you guys how I do that. It's a nice snug 4. Also a nice snug 4. Alright, we're at 33 for the ring end gap. I'm going to bump that up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very scientific and high precision. Now let's recheck our gap. Exactly 40 thou. All right, let's do the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I said 40 thousandths on that one. I'm used to talking in inches, but I'm reading in millimeters. It's actually 16 thousandths, which is 0.40 millimeters. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I always forget to put my base gasket on until after I've got the pistons on, and then you gotta fight to get the base gasket on over the pistons. Am I actually going to remember to put it on before? Just in case anybody's wondering, and for my future reference, the SBT base gasket is only 18 thousandths thick. The base gasket that I was using before was 29 thousandths thick, so you know what? As cheap as I am, buying a base gasket is a lot easier than making one. I think I've said this before, but I will say it again anyway. When you're putting your pistons in, make sure to install one of the circlips before you try to install the pistons, because if you don't, you're going to be fighting with two of them. So this reduces the amount of struggle you're going to have. right. Start the pin part way through. Another little trick that I've learned over the years, take your finger, put it through the hole, use that to locate the bearing. And then you can center it up so that the pin slides in easy and you're not fighting with it all day. Just like that. These Wiseco circlips are a lot stiffer than the SBT ones that I installed. The SBT ones I could install without a tool even. I could just slide them in with my fingers. I do not like the Wiseco clips. They are obviously designed for higher RPM. If this goes flying right now, I'm in trouble. Try to keep my finger over the base of it so it can't. Oh, there we go. We're locked in. All right, YouTube, out of curiosity, I thought I would measure the thickness of the circlips just to see how much thicker, if any, the Wiseco ones are. So this is an SBT circlip. It's 30, let's see. It's 40 thousandths thick, so 1 millimeter. And the Wiseco is 50 thousandths. So that's why it's stiffer. All right, so it's not really an issue in this application because this isn't a terribly high revving engine, but a soft circlip or a circlip that bends quite easily. You can see I can squish the SBT clip in between my fingers quite easily, where the Wiseco one, quite a bit stiffer, which makes the SBT clip a lot nicer to install, but the inertia or the force from the G forces, every time this comes to the top, if you have, no matter how you have the clip mounted, but we'll use worst case scenario so that it's mounted perfectly sideways, when it comes to the top and the piston starts going back down, the bottom part of this clip wants to continue going up. And so the fact that it wants to keep going up, it could actually collapse and pop out of the groove. And that does happen in some really high RPM engines. Mechanics will often argue about the best way to mount these. And yeah, I'm honestly not sure, but it seems to me that mounting it straight up and down would be the best, but I couldn't say for sure because then you have all this weight when it comes to the bottom that's trying to push and close it. Still seems like the best option to me, either straight up or straight down, but not sideways. If I am the luckiest man alive, this potentially could be my final assembly of the cylinder, but I may have to take the engine back apart to put in a thicker base gasket. One thing that I can say for sure is that that front piston went in there unbelievably easy, and so that probably means that the back one is going to fight me tooth and nail. All right, either today is my lucky day or I just did something very, very wrong and I'm gonna have to take this back apart because that went together unbelievably easy. I know I might have made that look easy and you guys are like, wow, he's good. That was good. Well, that was, yeah. That was that was, I don't want to call it a fluke, but that went way too easily. All right, let's put some nuts on, tighten down the base nuts, and then we can pop the head on and check the squish. All right, YouTube, in order to check my squish, what I'm going to do is put 2 pieces of solder in each cylinder. I'm going to use a little bit of grease to hold them in place, a little bit of assembly glue. I'm going to stick one there and one there. I want to make sure that they go all the way out to the outside of the bores. And I will show you guys after this the issue that I was having based on old solder that I squished. Now, if you weren't cheap like me, you could run your solder all the way across. If you don't use grease and you do this, it's quite risky because the transfer ports are right there and the solder could actually fall into the ports and down into the base. So just keep that in mind. I'm not going to show you guys torquing the head on. I'm just going to come back and show you guys the measurements of the squish. Well, yes, it's come to this. I removed the front cover so that I could turn it over. Time to pop the head off and see what the results are. Okay, so that one stuck to they all stuck to the head except for the back one, which fell somewhere. Great, exactly what I didn't want to happen happened. Well, based on how thick they are, I'm gonna say I don't have very much squish. Oh, it was a hose clamp that fell. The solder is still on the piston. I could have been looking for that for a long time. All right, so right at the edge, 33, so that's what we want. We want a taper. 33 there, and 45 when I'm out about 10 centimeters. So exactly what I wanted. So that is, we'll keep them in the order that they were. So that was the back of the PTO. Here's the front of the PTO, which hopefully is about the same. 31, 45. Where did I put that? All right, so that one's good. Now for the mag side, 32. Perfect. Perfect. Where am I putting these? Okay, there. And the last one. All right, excellent. I'm very happy with this. I've got about 32 thou squish on the very outside, and it tapers in quite quickly. All right, before I go and make a video about squish bands, I'm going to show you guys basically using the old squish solder that I had, the issue that I was having. So when I first put the engine together at the first of this season, I was running about 52 thousandths squish. So you can see this, 52 thousandths, 51.5. The problem was that this is the outside of the squish band here, and this is the inside of the squish band. And if you look here, if I measure it here, you can see that's 52 thousandths. But if I measure right across the end, that's 60 thousandths. I'm not sure if you guys can make that out, but I've got 60 thousandths gap across the end. But if I measure it this way, 51.5. After bumping up my compression, I was running 42 or 43 thou, so I've got 42 thousandths, 43 thousandths we'll call it. Same problem again, if we measure across the end, 60 thousandths. So what this is doing is causing a pocket or a gap around the outside of the squish band where fuel and air mixture can get trapped, and therefore it was igniting. It's not because I'm running a really tight squish, or it's not because of my octane of my fuel. It's basically because there is too much of a gap around the outside and the taper was going in the wrong direction. So if anything, it should be wider here than it is here. All right, that was on the verge of getting into some complicated squish band stuff, so I'm going to end this video here. I'm really happy with those results. It's a little tighter than I wanted around the outside of the squish band, but it's over 30 thousandths. And yeah, basically this engine's gonna come back apart very soon, and before next season, well, next season's gonna be a whole new bag of tricks. But anyway, before this engine runs on the long term, I will put a slightly thicker base gasket in. Again, I was telling you guys earlier in this video, I'm running an 18 thousandths base gasket from SBT. So either I'll double that gasket up and increase the squish, or I will simply run a little bit thicker gasket, make one myself or something. In one of my previous videos, you guys probably heard me mention that I was going to make an unlisted video about squish bands, going into great detail. I've since then decided that I'm actually going to make the video listed, just so that if people who don't watch this video want to see it, yeah, they can see it. So that video is going to be listed, but it will be dedicated 100% to squish band information. It's probably going to get a little bit geeky and go into detail, but some people will probably find it quite interesting. With that being said, I am not a chemist, I'm not a physicist, I'm not an engineer. So yeah, I'm going to do my best to explain this in layman's terms, and hopefully people find it informative and entertaining. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.